Hello and welcome to What the F Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditas. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. Welcome to day 309. The Biden administration will require all foreign travelers crossing U.S. borders to be fully vaccinated by January 22nd. The administration previously announced that fully vaccinated, non-essential foreign travelers could enter the U.S. beginning November 8th. The White House, however, delayed the requirement for essential foreign travelers, such as truck drivers and government officials, in order to allow more time to get vaccinated and not disrupt trade. The administration also asked a federal appeals court to reinstate its workplace rule requiring employees at larger companies to be vaccinated against COVID-19 or face weekly testing. Republican-led states, private employers, and conservative groups challenged the requirement, arguing that OSHA lacked the authority to mandate vaccines. The Justice Department said in its filing that the federal government should be permitted to address, quote, the grave danger of COVID-19 in the workplace, end quote. Meanwhile, weekly unemployment claims totaled 199,000 last week, the lowest number in 52 years. The 4-week average of initial jobless claims also dropped by 21,000 down to about 252,000, the lowest since mid-March 2020. Moving on, Joe Biden authorized the release of 50 million barrels of crude oil from its strategic reserves to help offset a surge in gasoline prices. Biden called it the largest ever release, which was done in concert with China, Japan, India, South Korea, and the UK. Biden said we've made historic progress over the last 10 months and pointed to the jobs added to the economy since he took office. But he added, disruptions related to the pandemic have, quote, caused challenges in our supply chain, which have sparked concern about shortages and contributed to higher prices, end quote. He also vowed to continue taking action. Meanwhile, Biden also nominated Shalonda Young to serve as the administration's budget director. Young is currently the acting director of the Office of Management and Budget and would be the first black woman to hold the post on a permanent basis. The administration withdrew its initial selection of Neera Tanden for budget director after bipartisan criticism about her past social media attacks against lawmakers. Moving on, a federal appeals court is scheduled to hear oral arguments on November 30th about whether Congress can receive Trump's White House records related to the January 6th attack at the Capitol. Earlier this month, Judge Tanya Chutkin ordered the National Archives to hand over the material, ruling that Congress's constitutional oversight powers, backed by Joe Biden, outweighed Trump's residual executive privilege. An appeals court, however, instituted a short-term hold, but notified attorneys for Trump, the House committee investigating the attack, and the National Archives that they should be prepared to address whether the court has the legal authority to hear the dispute. Meanwhile, the House Select Committee investigating the attack on the Capitol issued subpoenas to 3 right-wing extremist groups, including the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Dozens of members of both groups have been charged in the attack on the Capitol, and prosecutors say they conspired ahead of time to disrupt the Electoral College proceedings. In total, the panel issued 5 new subpoenas for records and testimony a day after the panel subpoenaed Roger Stone, Alex Jones, and 3 others. And finally, the RNC paid $121,670 to an attorney representing Trump in the criminal investigations by Manhattan DA Cy Vance into Trump's real estate company's financial practices. There is no indication that either investigation involves Trump's time as president or his political campaigns. But in October, the RNC made 2 payments totaling $121,670 to the law firm of Ronald Fischetti, who was hired by the Trump Organization in April. And in the polls, Yahoo News says 77% of Americans say inflation is personally affecting them. 35% say Biden deserves the most blame for the current inflation, compared to 30% who blame the disruptions on the pandemic. And NPR and Marist say 42% of Americans approve of the job that Joe Biden is doing as president, his lowest numbers since taking office. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditas.